Hi, everyone. We are here again in our conversations about faith in the arenas of life, our Bible study that has 10 lessons, and we are on our second lesson today. And Greg Hurley is again here with me, and Greg's white paper was the impetus for faith in the arenas of life. And we introduced a lot of that to you last time. We started with a lesson called Christ is King, and that was part one of a two-part lesson. So today we go on with Christ is King. Greg, you personally talk about being a certified financial planner, working in the best interest of others.
Right.
Not so much for yourself, but learning to work on behalf of others. You also, in your white paper, have 7 C's. In fact, what is the name of your white paper originally?
Yeah, it's the 7 C's to finding your rhythm and finishing strong.
Yeah.
It's really the idea of really trying to mix in all these 7 C's because we're all busy in life, and I think some of us kind of ignore some of the C's, and some of us put too much emphasis on certain C's, and that was really what had happened was back in September of 2009, I heard a sermon like a lot of us have heard in the past with regards to ending well. It was the story of David. And it just struck me, and I actually listened to it a lot, and I didn't realize how much I had listened to it. I listened to it over 100 times.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and it really hit a chord, and God was really doing something within me. And then my son was born. That was September 2009. My wife was pregnant. He was born in January of 2010. God was preparing me for this life-changing event, and then I started interviews in October of 2010.
Now, the C's, what are they?
Yeah, so we have, career or calling. We have commitment to faith or Christ. We have cardio, care for parents, couples, children, and community.
Okay.
So
now we start in this study, Faith in the Arenas of Life, with the Christ part, because we're looking at, here's our faith, and then how are we going to weave that through the other things?
Right.
Now, if I say I'm working in the best interest of others, and commitment to Christ is a top priority.
Right.
How do you express to someone else that knowing Christ is in their best interest?
Oh, well, that's a great question. We look at everything around us. We look at what Christ did for us, and I look at my life before I knew Christ, and as good as I could have gotten, it was horrible. I mean, I had a hole in my heart that I didn't even realize I knew I had. I couldn't golf by myself. I had this loneliness, and what really happened for me was I hit a peak in financial success, and in my career at a very young age, in my 20s, very financially successful, really came from not, very modest means, very low income. It was just my mom and I, and through trying to help her in a number of different circumstances, I found myself being able to buy a car or buy a house at a very young age in the Bay Area, which a lot of people aren't able to do. And but I was just lonely. And what I would tell them is that for the loneliness that you have or the unhappiness that you have, people try to go on vacations, they try to buy things, they try to work harder and get accolades at work, they try to increase their lifestyle. And I feel it's like a hole in your heart that you kind of try to keep putting a false plug in, and it just falls out, and Christ is the only thing that could be the everlasting hole fixer, if you will.
Yeah.
Or the plug.
So by starting with Christ is King, we've started in the right place, haven't we?
Right, yeah. That Christ has to be our Lord and CEO of our lives, and really dictating, and God needs to be dictating our actions. Because God has this wonderful plan for our lives, and unless we ever if we don't ask Him what it is He would have us do, we'll never uncover His plan A, awesome. We'll be living in our plan B, bad.
Yeah.
I kind of think of it that way.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's a big help. Thank you to you as well, and we'll be back for lesson 3 when we join you next time.